Industrial forklift battery chargers are classified as appliances according to the National Electrical Code. This means they are subject to the requirements outlined in Article 422 concerning overcurrent protection and other safety considerations. Overcurrent protection is crucial to prevent damage to the equipment and potential fire hazards caused by excessive current flow. Article 422 provides specific guidelines for selecting the appropriate overcurrent protective devices, such as fuses or circuit breakers, based on the charger's ampacity and other factors. The ampacity of the charger refers to its current carrying capacity, which is typically specified on the equipment's nameplate. The overcurrent protection should be sized to protect the charger's internal components and wiring from overheating or damage due to overload or short-circuit conditions. In addition to overcurrent protection, Article 422 also addresses other aspects of appliance installation, such as grounding and wiring methods. Grounding is essential for providing a safe path for fault current to flow back to the source, minimizing the risk of electric shock. Proper wiring methods, including the use of appropriate conductors and raceways, are also necessary to ensure the electrical system's integrity and prevent installation damage or other hazards. When installing an industrial forklift battery charger, it is essential to consult Article 422 and other relevant sections of the National Electrical Code to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. A qualified electrician should perform the installation to ensure that it is done safely and correctly. Failing to comply with these regulations can result in electrical hazards, equipment damage, and potential legal liabilities. Firstly, it is important to determine the ampacity of the forklift battery charger. This information is usually found on the charger's nameplate or in the manufacturer's specifications. The ampacity is the maximum current that the charger is designed to carry continuously under normal operating conditions. Secondly, based on the charger's ampacity, select an overcurrent protective device such as a fuse or circuit breaker that is sized appropriately. Article 422 provides guidelines for sizing overcurrent protection based on the type of appliance and its ampacity. Typically, the overcurrent protection should be sized no larger than the charger's ampacity. Thirdly, ensure that the overcurrent protective device is installed in a readily accessible location and is properly labeled. The label should clearly indicate the purpose and rating of the overcurrent device. This will facilitate troubleshooting and maintenance in the future. Fourthly, use appropriate wiring methods and conductors for connecting the charger to the electrical supply. The conductors should be sized according to the charger's ampacity and the applicable ampacity tables in the National Electrical Code. The wiring should be installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code requirements for the type of location and the environment in which the charger is installed. Fifthly, provide proper grounding for the charger. Grounding is essential for preventing electric shock hazards. The grounding conductor should be sized according to the National Electrical Code requirements and connected to a suitable grounding electrode system. Sixthly, inspect the installation to ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause overheating and potential fire hazards. Seventhly, test the installation to ensure that the charger is operating correctly and that the overcurrent protection is functioning as intended. This can be done using appropriate testing equipment and procedures. Article 422 covers various aspects of appliance installation, including disconnects, wiring methods, and grounding requirements. One important aspect is the requirement for a disconnecting means. Section 422.30 states that appliances must have a means to disconnect them from all ungrounded conductors. This disconnecting means can be a switch, a circuit breaker, or a cord and plug connection. The disconnecting means must be readily accessible to the user. Wiring methods for appliances must comply with Chapter 3 of the National Electrical Code. This chapter covers topics such as conductor types, ampacity, and installation requirements. Appliances can be wired using various methods, including conduit, cable, and flexible cords. The specific wiring method used will depend on the type of appliance, the location of the installation, and other factors. Grounding is another critical aspect of appliance installation. Section 250.110 requires that appliances be grounded to provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source. This helps to protect against electric shock hazards. Appliances can be grounded using various methods, including equipment grounding conductors and grounding electrodes. In addition to these general requirements, Article 422 also includes specific requirements for certain types of appliances. For example, Section 422.16 covers the installation of dishwashers and trash compactors. This section includes requirements for disconnecting means, wiring methods, and grounding. It's essential to consult the specific requirements for the type of appliance being installed to ensure compliance with the National Electrical Code. Article 422 also addresses the use of flexible cords for appliances. Flexible cords are permitted for connecting certain types of appliances, but they must meet specific requirements. Section 400.7 outlines the permissible uses of flexible cords. Flexible cords must be of the correct type and size for the appliance being connected. They must also be protected from physical damage and strain. Another important consideration is overcurrent protection for appliances. Overcurrent protection is designed to protect the appliance and the branch circuit from overloads and short circuits. Section 422.11 covers the requirements for overcurrent protection. The overcurrent protection device must be sized to protect the appliance from damage. It must also be located in a readily accessible location. Article 422 also addresses the installation of appliances in specific locations, such as damp or wet locations. Appliances installed in these locations must be listed for use in those locations. They must also be protected from moisture and corrosion. Section 422.10 covers the requirements for appliances installed in damp or wet locations. Appliances must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The manufacturer's instructions will provide specific information about the installation, operation, and maintenance of the appliance. Following the manufacturer's instructions is essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of the appliance. Article 422 also addresses the use of extension cords for appliances. Extension cords should only be used on a temporary basis. They should not be used as a substitute for permanent wiring. When using an extension cord, it must be of the correct type and size for the appliance being connected. It must also be protected from physical damage and strain. Section 400.8 prohibits certain uses of flexible cords and cables, including using them as a substitute for the fixed wiring of a structure, where run through holes in walls, structural ceilings, suspended ceilings, dropped ceilings, or floors, where run through doorways, windows, or similar openings were attached to building surfaces, or were concealed behind building walls, structural ceilings, suspended ceilings, drop ceilings, or floors. It is crucial to remember that the National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of standards, and it is essential to consult the latest edition and any applicable local amendments to ensure compliance with all requirements. The code is updated regularly to reflect new technologies and best practices. Article 422 provides essential guidelines for the safe installation of appliances, including industrial forklift battery chargers. By adhering to these regulations, electricians and installers can help to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Proper overcurrent protection, grounding, wiring methods, and disconnecting means are all critical components of a safe appliance installation. Understanding and complying with Article 422 is a fundamental responsibility for anyone working with electrical appliances. It ensures that these devices operate safely and reliably, minimizing the risk of electrical accidents and promoting a safe electrical environment. Article 422 also touches on specific requirements for certain appliance types, such as those used for space heating or air conditioning. These appliances often have unique installation requirements related to their power consumption, ventilation, and control systems. For example, permanently connected electric space heating equipment typically requires a dedicated branch circuit and a disconnecting means within sight of the heater. Air conditioning equipment may have specific requirements for overload protection and the use of approved wiring methods. The National Electrical Code also provides guidance on the proper sizing of branch circuits for appliances. Section 210.23 specifies the permissible loading of branch circuits, depending on the circuit's ampacity and the types of loads it serves. It's important to ensure that the branch circuit is adequately sized to handle the appliance's load without overloading the circuit. Overloading a branch circuit can lead to overheating, nuisance tripping of circuit breakers, and potentially dangerous conditions. Article 422 also addresses the installation of appliances near flammable materials. Appliances that generate heat or sparks must be located a safe distance from combustible materials to prevent fire hazards. The National Electrical Code provides guidelines and the required clearances for appliances near flammable materials. It is essential to follow these guidelines to ensure that the appliance is installed safely and does not pose a fire risk. In addition to the requirements in Article 422, other articles in the National Electrical Code may also apply to the installation of appliances. For example, Article 310 covers the ampacity of conductors, Article 250 covers grounding and bonding, and Article 400 covers flexible cords and cables. It is essential to consult all applicable articles of the National Electrical Code to ensure that the appliance installation complies with all relevant requirements. The National Electrical Code is a constantly evolving document, and it is essential to stay up to date on the latest changes and revisions. The National Fire Protection Association, which publishes the National Electrical Code, offers various resources to help electricians and installers stay informed about the latest code requirements. These resources include training courses, publications, and online forums. It is the responsibility of every electrician and installer to ensure that they are familiar with the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and any applicable local amendments. By staying informed and following the code requirements, they can help to ensure the safe and reliable installation of electrical appliances. Industrial forklift battery chargers, as appliances, must adhere to these safety standards for proper installation.